How does it feel to be back? Absolutely delighted. Delighted because it's been a very, very personal, tough 12 months. I made the decision to leave South Africa at the end of the 2022-2023 season. Obviously, the club got relegated, and that was my responsibility, even though myself and the chairman and Rufus and everybody involved knows, what happened, within the club, especially for the last two biggest games of their lives, really. But this all happened within 48 hours. I woke up a week on Friday. We'd been speaking to the chairman, he was asking me his advice because he was purchasing swallows, and until it was rubber stamped by the PSL, and there was no negotiations, there was no questions of will I come back, and it was a week last Friday. I woke up at 7:30. No, sorry, it's a lie. 5:30, as I always do. And I received a message from the chairman at 3:30 South African time in the morning, and he told me the deal had been rubber stamped, and he asked me to call him straight away when it was convenient. And within 2 days, I was back in South Africa. And you know how I've been in this country, you know how I work in this country. I've played here before. I enjoyed 3 seasons with Arcadia Shepherds, and what I want to do is to help the chairman in his dream and his vision for the reason why he's bought the franchise of Morocco Swallows and renamed it Marumo Gallants. Because if you want somebody that's got the passion that he's got in football, then you want to be part of that. You want to be part of that. And when I landed, the first thing I said to Rufus, let's go to the office. Let's go to the office. Let me go and see my chairman. Straight away, he greeted me. It was the same guy I met 12 months ago. The same guy at TTM that we took the team to the Nedbank Cup. And if you've got passionate people like that, you've got passionate people that love this game, then that's what football and football for the fans is all about. And I thank the chairman for inviting me. I thank Marumo Gallants community for inviting me, and I thank you guys here for coming today to this meeting, to this press conference. And I'm just looking forward to hitting the ground running. And it's not very long. I think it's 3 weeks before the season starts, if I'm wrong. Maybe 4, if the MTN8 is the first competition. So we've got a short period of time to hit the ground running. But that's what I'm all about. As a player, as a coach, it's hitting the ground running. So it's good to be back, guys. It's good to be back. I don't have to watch DStv, the PSL, on my magic stick in England. I can watch it back in South Africa.
Good morning, everybody. As you know me, do I have to hold it? Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everybody in this room, both ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to see you here. First of all, I would like to thank you all members of the media for being patient with us. We confirmed on the 27th of June 2024 that PSL approved our deal to take over as solace status. It has been a very stressful time for us as the club. From the time we started the negotiations with the management of Soros to the time we hand over happened. At the same time, the decision to move the club to Bloemfontein needed thorough thinking and continuous engagement with different stakeholders in the Free State. We are aware of the speculation that has been going around, but we took a decision to communicate after we had solidified our plans. That is why we are here today and give you an opportunity to get clarity from the club. I also want to confirm that I have been requested to assist the club in an advisory level and to provide strategic direction. I ceased to be the chairman of the NFT level the day my status was bought by Gadegani Project. Moving forward, I will serve as the president of Marumo Gallants. This is an exciting moment as we go back to the top flight, but scary at the same time after the setback we experienced. However, we have also had some great successes with the coach on my left-hand side, including being Kerr Confederation semi-finalist and rated among the top 10 clubs in Africa. We were also nominees of the Kerr Awards at the end of that particular season. With this positive moment, we want now to focus on the future too, with hope, but importantly, to compete and remain in the league for a longer time, if not forever. In terms of club relocation to Bloemfontein, I would like to confirm the following information. Firstly, to address the question of why we are moving to Bloemfontein, answer is this. Gallants is a national team that has played home games in Limpopo, as we know we started there, Northwest Province, Gauteng, and Free State. The club had previously planned to relocate to Bloemfontein and had played 4 games there towards the end of the season 2022-2023. However, the following unfortunate setback to NFT, relocations plans were put on hold during that process. With current return to top flight, conversations were resumed and plans finalized in agreement to various stakeholders in Bloemfontein, including the supporters groups. Gallants' home ground will be in Dr. Petrus Molemela Stadium, with larger game being played at Toyota Stadium, Free State Stadium, the same place. We have met with various stakeholders in Bloemfontein, including the Siwelele groups. Campaigns will engage Siwelele as Marumo supporters and will look forward to kicking off games in Bloemfontein. The club's name has been registered with PSL as Marumo Gallants FC. Should anything change in this regard, we'll update you accordingly. Either slogan or anything, we'll update you. While we will be based in Bloemfontein, we remain in South African PSL team, and we embrace all our fans throughout the country. To all our supporters, we bow before you. Without you, there is no Marumo Gallants. I extend my sincere thanks to you, all the players who remain with Marumo during the last season and previous ones. I applaud them as a real warriors. I thank you, God.
Can I move this way? Good morning, colleagues. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yes, I have been tasked with a very important responsibility of helping Marumo to relocate that permanently. it's been a very interesting journey. We've been crisscrossing the length and breadth of Free State this past couple of weeks with the chairman, engaging various important stakeholders in the province. And I must say that the reception that we have received and the excitement that we have experienced has really been encouraging and motivating for us. And I can assure you that this season is going to be a very interesting season for us and for the football in general. I'm sure you might have heard some of the, I think, Bloem-based supporters interviews, and you can tell that there's a lot of excitement and anticipation for the upcoming season. Having said that, I think maybe as a starting point, I must appreciate Chair for having entrusted me with this mammoth task and responsibility, which I've embraced and really taken very seriously. Now, Bloemfontein is not a foreign place for me. It's actually my town of birth, even though I relocated many years ago. And as I sit with the club, I also represent the interest of football in the Free State. So during our deliberations, engagements, as we strategize, we're always trying to make sure that we have the interest of the people of Free State. Maybe as a starting point, what is important maybe to announce is the fact that the Mangaung municipality, the metro, the council have taken a resolution and adopted the decision for municipality to get into a contract with Marumo. And some of those details will be explained, I think, further on in detail in our joint briefing that we'll have with the municipality. But that should include the use of free facilities for the upcoming season. So in terms of support, we do have support, both from a municipality perspective, but also the province at large. Now, what is also good for us and what we have been able to achieve is really synergy and desire for us to collaborate with the municipality. Because through that partnership, I believe that there's a lot that we'll be able to achieve both as a club, but also the province and the people of Mangaung. There's quite a number of things that we intend to do. And one of them is really to establish Marumo as a powerhouse of football in Free State. But for us to achieve that, we have been collaborating, we've been engaging with a number of strategic stakeholders or players, whether from prominent business people in that area, from the different leadership in the province, from different provincial departments. We've been engaging from the grassroots level. We've engaged the former, different owners of Bloemfontein Celtics, even the initial founding fathers, the original owners of Bloemfontein Celtics. Dr. Mahatan, I'm not sure if many of you know, because I know a lot of people know the Molimela family, but there's a family that actually founded Bloemfontein Celtics before the Molimela family. Even the Molimela family, we've also visited, we've engaged, because our plans are quite big. And for us to achieve our objective and goal in positioning ourselves in the manner that I've explained, it will require for us to work with the entire football fraternity. We have also engaged, there's a lot of interesting work that has been done at the NFD level. You've seen your the generals and your Mangaung City and so forth, who's been doing quite well. And we've also engaged them. They are very excited. They also look forward to working with us. And we are going to make some very interesting announcements going forward. This thing is a process, but we're taking our time because we want to really build solid structures for sustainability and for success. So we are going in there and we're building proper structures from the ground. So we're making some interesting announcements in terms of what's going to help us and how we're going to approach the whole thing. We want to use the Marumo status in the province to really build football in the province. There's a lot of talent in the NFTs and so forth, and we want to use the status as a platform to unearth the talent. So meaning we're looking at those teams to sort of bring some of those exciting, talented players into the PSL. We, through our partnership with the municipality, you would know that municipality also have different departments like your social development and sports and so forth. And what we are going to do is we are going to integrate our programs with the program of the municipality. In as far as your CSR project and so forth. Football has a huge value chain from an economic development, from social development, and so forth. And these are some of the programs that we are going to be aligning ourselves with. From a tourism perspective, you talk about sports tourism, and in terms of how you saw recently with the Bafana and Zimbabwe a display of football. I mean these are just Zimbabwe with no I'm not respecting, but I'm disrespecting, but I'm just saying. But can you imagine if we were to bring international games into the Free State? And that's what we're planning to do. We want to really commercialize football. Like I said, from a tourism perspective, we want to be the main contributor of tourism in the Free State through sports, tourism. So that's where we are. We want to promote female football. As you know, that Marumo has a female football development. We want to build a legacy, but we also want to build on the legacy that has already been built in the Free State. Chair indicated that we've met with your Siwelele supporters, whom we're going to be working very closely with. But we are going to also, because we already have Marumo supporters around the country, so we're going to integrate, so we're going to build proper structures that integrate all our support base in our networks. So we're going to build a proper support machinery, because we believe that that's the currency for us as a club in the Free State. Already that gives us an advantage. We want to display, not just to go and play in Free State, but to build, like I said, football, build sports, but also to bring excitement. People should go and experience football. So it should be, when Marumo is playing in Bloemfontein, people should be looking forward to attending those games because of the experience that they will receive in between those games. I think some of the things we will unpack at a later stage, because we are planning, as I indicated when I started, to have a joint press with the Free State government, when we'll outline some of our agreements and how we're going to work going forward. I think so far I've covered everything. Thank you.
My first question is for the president, and then I have one more for the Mr. President, just from your previous experience in the top flight and what you've taken now, what have you learned? What lessons have you learned that you think will help you stay much longer in the top flight this time around? And then for the coach, from a psychological perspective, how do you take a team or players that finished 11th or 10th in the championship, and then make them perform in the top flight to obviously maintain the status of the team as a PSL or DStv Premiership side?
From OIFM. My question is for the coach. Coach, just wanted to make sure that, ask everything sorted on your side in terms of paperwork and everything, because we do know that last time around things panned out otherwise, where you were announced the coach, but paperwork was not sorted out and things ended sour. So just wanted to make sure, ask as well in terms of paperwork, everything sorted out on your side.
Okay, let's take one more question, and then we'll come back to some more questions. Okay, can I?
Good morning, Karabo from Supersport. To the president of the club, how important was, for you to take this club to Bloemfontein? Obviously, you played 4 games in the previous 2 seasons ago. Why the decision to take, this club to Bloemfontein? And how important is it, for the history of the club to now, in inverted commas, to relocate to the province? Thank you.
Right. I'd suggest we give the coach and the president an opportunity to answer to your questions, and then we'll do another batch of questions after that. Over to you, President and Coach.
Thank you very much. I think in every journey we learn, we experience downfalls, upfalls. As you can see, our club has been doing well. We had Nedbank Cup. I went into Kerr, we beat up to the playoffs. We went to the finals in the second, tried to defend Nedbank, and we were the runner-ups. We went into Kerr. That was a massive experience, and then we went up to semi-finals, and we top up to be the 10 top clubs in Africa and in the awards. It's a learning curve, but with a distrain of some sort of how much resources you have in that particular dilemma. Hence, you can see us looking around to say, where do we beef up our strength? Remember, this is a team, it's a club, can't do it alone. You need 4 tables of the particular thing. You need the supporters, you need the support from the governance, which is municipalities at the provincial level, and then you need the finances to run that, you need the structure for your team to do that. Those are the things which we've learned to realize that now once you stabilize those 4 legs of the table, most probably it will keep us in the league longer and longer. Of course, with the players and the coaches, it's very, very important to make sure that we can talk the whole day here, but if you don't do well in the field there, we are not. We have made sure that we beefed up all the players, came back with the coach as you see him to say, okay, we don't need any other new arrangements. Let's rectify where we have lost. What made us to be there? And we found ourselves. And then we're gonna move from there with the reinforcement of the best players according to our survey. You can see when we announced the signings, you get better guys like Daniel Amsterdam. Everybody was bidding for him from joining Gallants. Well, you'll see our announcement. So we beefed up that, and we make sure that they retain us in the league. The leadership and the coach, the whole technical, to learn exactly where we left it, because if we don't rectify that, we will not be anywhere anyhow. Well, with those support, the stakeholders, I think we can see first part of reinforcement. I was like, fine. I think this is an issue we need to deal with. Take care of stakeholders' issues. Very important, including you, the media. Very important. Technical, players, management, and we've learned a lot. I can talk almost an hour, but believe me, we have seen our downfall. We can see our strategies, and watch us. When it happens, don't be surprised. The importance of how we go back to why do you choose Bloemfontein? I think each and every club, we all belong to South Africa. At the top flight, we play across the borders of South Africa, be in any province, and every club goes anywhere to touch supporters, and then the support, financial support, and facility support, and all those kind of things. And then we realized exactly out of the provinces which we have moved through, this was the best communication we could have among all those 4 pillars which I've talked about. And it made us to be pleased to go and make a difference in the place where there is where there is thirst of football. The people have been crying to say, please, we need a club here. We want to support football. Any club can go in that particular area. But now we say, okay, here we are. Let's get into that marriage, and then we analyze that marriage. It shows fruits up front, and that's why we could move there, stay there until God answers us. Thank you.
Before, from the coach's position and a player's position. Now we all know how massive Bloemfontein is and how massive the province of missed football. Free State Stars have gone, Bloemfontein Celtic have gone, and it's a no-brainer for the chairman. We went there for 4 games last season, in 2022-2023. It was what the province wanted. They want to see PSL football. And it's very important that we, as a club, and I mean as a club, become involved with the local community. Now, for those who don't know what I do when I'm in Polokwane, when I was in Durban, when I was in coaching, when I came into Dobsonville with Swallows, when I have a day off or an afternoon free and there's a football match, I don't mind driving. And Afani from Far Post will confirm this, because we drove for 3 hours one day to go and watch a game of football, a tournament, which was played on a mud-based field with wooden stakes as goals, with kids taking boots off when they came off the pitch to give kids going on as substitutes to play football. I did that, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed meeting community leaders, I enjoyed meeting supporters, I enjoyed meeting Go-Go's. And I would have a beer with them, and I would talk about South African life, because they would educate me. They would educate me. And I spoke to the chairman, and he spoke to the leaders of the community on Sunday, I believe. I want to get these players, and I want to give them responsibility to go out into the communities, to go to schools, whether it's in Bloemfontein, whether it's in Kwakwa, whether it's an hour away. They go into schools every week for an hour and a half, with 20 balls, 20 bibs, and a set of cones, and they go and teach the kids. I used to do it in Polokwane. I used to go to schools. Some were receptive, some weren't interested. But I feel it's important. I feel it's important that we're going to a massive province that they need something back. We need to give back. Stop taking. We're not going to take. We're going there to give back. And I'll make it an issue that these players, in twos, in pairs, if they want to do it alone, because it gives them a responsibility. We're giving back into the community. We spoke this morning, and it was he was delighted with that proposal. And it will happen. It will happen. Obviously, the games come first, the team comes first, but if there's a 3-week international break, we invite football teams to come and train. We invite coaches. One of the best things I learned when I was in England for 12 months, we have coaches meetings every 4-5 months. We sit together, coaches that are in the game, in the Premier League, coaches that are in non-league. I'm part of it's called the League Coaches Association. We pay our subscription every year, and whenever there's a meeting, we are invited. The top Premier League managers are there, Dylan Kerr's there. And we discuss football, we talk football. And it's knowledgeable. And that's something else I want to try and bring into football. Because while I've been away, there's been a lot of bad, you know, for instance, Rulani and the TS Gallants coach. You know, that needs to stop. We need to respect each other. We need to believe in each other and help each other to help South African football grow. For your question about the players and the expectations, my first training session we had 57 players. Contracted, non-contracted, renewable contracts, swallows, plus the odd trialist. It's going to be very, very tough for me as a coach, for me and my technical team. It's going to be very, very tough. Like I said, we have to start straight away, and we've already started. This afternoon, you know, obviously I'm here this morning. This afternoon we've got some players coming in on trial, some players in for assessments. Some I know, some I don't know. You know, but it's getting, like the chairman said, we've got to get the right balance this time. We've got to not be just making a number up. This league is tough. You've seen from results. You've seen the lack of goals that are scored. Top goal scorer last year, 16 goals. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We have to introduce a different mentality, a different idea to players. We've got some talent in this country. Hugo Bruce has taken the Bafana to the semi-finals of CAF. He's now got a good chance of qualifying for USA, Mexico, Canada in the World Cup. You know, we have to be involved with that as well. But the priority for Marumo Gallants is, like the chairman said, longevity in the PSL and grow from home, which is always important. A work permit. The day I left the country, Home Affairs called me and gave me a 3-year work permit. The day I left. We all understand the process. It frustrated the hell out of me, and it did end up costing because I wasn't on the bench. When you're up in the stand, you can't do things that are so important, because by the time the message gets relayed to the bench, the game's over, the chance is over. And I'm looking forward now to being on the bench for Marumo Gallants and not being up in the stand. Again, that's you know, the logistics of it when I was here last time. But it didn't stop what we did. It didn't stop what we did. Fortunately, things happened, especially the CAF game, and I felt sorry for my chairman, because we were directed by players. We were controlled by players, which should never, ever, ever happen. And that's something I learned, and something that has hurt me for the past 12 months, because it shouldn't have happened. And that's something now I've got to change in this Marumo Gallants side. And believe me, going to Bloemfontein is the best thing for both club and for the province. And like I said earlier, I want to give back. I want the club to give back.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Do we still have?
And you know, this is the second time
the team is a status sport. Doesn't it seem like it's a quick fix to getting back to the PSL? Thank you.
Now that I'm here, let me just give him an opportunity. Thank you.
My name is David Mpahlele from Soweto Life Make Online. Coach, on a lighter note, you're very passionate about football. I've noticed that even when we captured a number of pictures, there was a time in your leg we captured a tattoo. I just want to find out, will you do another one for Marumo Gallants?
Mr. Njabulangite from News 24. First question is just a point of clarity. Is the club physically relocating to Bloem, or is just hosting its home games there? And the second part touches on a similar question that my colleague asked, but what do you make of the criticism that the behavior of teams like Marumo Gallants is killing the spirit of the beautiful game, in that they are earning their way to the elite league through their wallet and not necessarily what they're doing on the pitch?
Morning, Mr. President. Siyasanga here from the Sunday World. I'd just like for you to expand on why it was important for you to keep the name Marumo Gallants, because there were calls or speculation that since you're going to Bloem, you would consider buying the Bloemfontein Celtics name, or just change the name, for example, Marumo Celtics, etc. So if you could expand on why it was important for you to keep the name Marumo Gallants.
Let's take one more question before we get the answers.
Good morning, President. My name is Nick Ele. I'm from Ecology News. Two easy questions. It is estimated that one of the richest teams in the country has got about 100 million supporters. That's card carrying and just ordinary supporters. Just now, back to you. I want to find out, can you also estimate how many supporters does Marumo Gallants have? Card carrying and ordinary. And second question, there's been a lot of speculation that you used your daughter's name to circumvent the PSL rule. I don't know how true is that. Now, my question is, who owns what at Gallants? Can you divulge the shareholders at Marumo Gallants?
I like your question. I'm happy with that one.
Let's give the president and the coach an opportunity to answer.
I've only got one.
Chairman, all the best. Especially that last one.
My tattoos were. There's something that it's something that gives me pleasure, because everything I do in football, and you're right, I am passionate about this game. I love this game. I achieved nothing at Marumo Gallants last year. The chairman brought me to the club to save his club. It was one hell of a journey. I'm so proud for 18 games, where we got to, especially in CAF. And unfortunately, I didn't save the status, and I didn't feel I had achieved anything. And your question is, it's up to the players. It's up to the players. They put that there, not me. So I would love to have that badge on my leg, if there's room. So it's all up to the players, and then like I say, we've got a mission to do this season, a big mission, and I feel it's achievable. The chairman feels it's achievable because he's bought status, he's invested in this, and it's important that we do stay in the league, and I'll give him the tattoo.
Thank you. Said to me, good luck.
All the best.
Let me take the luck, and I'll come with a quick later. Why do we have to? The first question: why do we buy instead of just working hard for promotion? Very ugly question, and easy to answer. The football has got rules. PSL has got rules. There is no way we're gonna cross the bridge without following all those clauses and rules and regulations about that. One, you work hard to get promoted. Congratulations to my homeboys, Magezi FC, to be promoted automatically. And this is it's not the first time it happens. Even to Magezi, it's a no. Comes the second one. Why do you change the status commercially? It is within the rules, and I'm not gonna be able to talk on behalf of my league and say this is what is happening. It's allowed and it is legal, and there are rules as well as what you do when it comes to that. So, and it's not the first time it happens with Marumo Gallants. Let me misquote. Previously, Royal Thunder Zulu, you know the stories. A number of teams happens to that. So it's not a surprise. I'm not sure as whether today it will go way height strange if this happens. But then, lastly, within the 16 teams of PSL, there is willing seller, willing buyer. If you think at that time, I think for now it's okay, let me give to interested. And it's the open space. You could have done it yourself. You could have done it in any format. We did that with TDM, and other clubs they also did that, and there was no worry about that. So I leave it at that. It is nothing strange with doing that one, but you just have to follow the rules and all those kind of things. It's those 2 or 3 ways which you can do. I think you should be answered in that particular one. Why should I keep the name Marumo Gallants? The question can be given to anyone else. Let me give to my elders, Orlando Pirates. Why do you have to keep the name Orlando Pirates? You go along with the building, the foundation, the legacy, the up and downs of that. This is the legacy you carry on, or the name you want to put into the football fraternity. And it has to carry on that. And you can't go back and confuse with the speculation that now you're going to change to become Bloemfontein Celtics and all those things. What we are always saying is, people have to understand, Bloemfontein Celtics owned by the current owner. It's a legal entity, and it is operating at the ABC Municipal League. How do I become Bloemfontein Celtics? How did I become Chiefs today? I must remain, the club must remain where it is, Marumo Gallants, or get new names and all those things. That legacy has to build on. And we are not shy away from our downfalls or achievements. We are proud of that. We reinvent the wheel. We go back to football fraternity, football lovers, and say, here we still are. Criticize us where necessary, build us. Let's make difference in football business, and it's commercialized, as we said. And upon those matters, there is nothing you can do. You have to follow the rule. Everything. There is nothing illegally go and through all those kind of things. They say the richest team has got 100 million supporters. Estimate. Thank you. But they did not start from 100 million. They started from minus and to 0. From 0 to 10. From 10 to 1,000. From thousands to millions or whatever, as you're saying. Each and every club, if you ask among the 16 clubs in the PSL, they are in the same path. We are all doing the same thing. And as well, how many supporters we have got this season, how many you have lost, how many you regain, how many they come back, how many supporters have got dual membership. I had this talk when I get to Bloemfontein. my colleague will attest to that. He said, everyone becomes before he becomes a member of a specific club in the PSL. He said, let's sell first. Let's sell a like chiefs. Let's sell a like pirates. That's what the street language means. Means they've got first club, which is part of the secondary club, which they favor, and the membership will fluctuate. I'll go back to my colleague Morgan, my Miller. We'll say, guys, you can love all your footballs and all that, but what you do is, we know you are members of different clubs, but love Varoka. Those are my colleagues and my names, and I'm proud to quote them. Morgan will say, love Varoka, and go and favor your club as usual, because Varoka came at this time, Pirates came 100 years ago, Mazur came 200 years ago, so it will fluctuate. So as weather, what can I estimate? It's a wave. It's a wave. And we've got a number of clubs and number of branches throughout Limpopo, Northwest, Mpumalanga, Gauteng, and Free State. And we are proud to say, no matter how many they are, some they were subsided because of this setback, now they're back. If you want to see that, look at our social media page. We are very proud of that. What was the other one? They say, who owns Marumo Gallants? Marumo Gallants is owned by the entity called Marumo Gallant Pty Limited. And in that particular case, that's whether during that time when you buy any status, it depends, it's a willing buyer, willing seller. And anybody could have done that. And then that entity with those directors, they bought this particular one. But they say, stay, give us direction, be the presidents, oversee all what is happening. And there we are. What is the last one? Basically that's it. Because we take the legal entity which owns the clubs and all those things, the directors and the trust and others, they are upon the approval within the league, and it forms the legal part of football and the league and the rules FIFA in accordance throughout the world. Thank you.
We've got one follow-up question here. I don't know if maybe, but he looks dissatisfied.
It's not a follow-up. My questions haven't been answered. The first one is a clarity in that, is the club physically moving to Bloemfontein, or is it just hosting games there? And the second one is, what do you make of the criticism that the behavior of clubs like Gallant is killing the spirit of the game in buying their way back to the Premier League and not necessarily earning it through the pitch? Thank you.
If the spirit has been killed, many clubs did that, and it's in the framework of law of football in South Africa. They never killed any spirit. I quoted some number of our veterans clubs which have been under this circumstance. They never killed any spirit. So Marumo Gallant won't kill any spirit now, while it's still within the framework of the PSL and the governance. So if it is anyway in-house taking anybody's guns, we apologize. But we are not doing anything legal and we're not killing anybody's spirit. In fact, we are encouraging. That's why we're looking into a situation where there is no football and we say we're going to close that particular game. Yes, we are moving physically and permanently until God decides in Free State. We'll be there, moving all of us. And we have offices all around the country, but physically we'll be in Bloemfontein and Free State.
Can I just start on that? When the chairman called me and told me he was buying the new status, I told him he must be crazy. He must be mad. Because he's done it before. But I know why he's doing it. I know why he's doing it. He wants to take PSL football to Bloemfontein. He tried it before. The team got relegated. It wasn't gonna, can't take an NFD team to Bloemfontein. Yes, maybe I'm wrong what I'm saying, but I don't think you'll have got the support in the NFD compared to the PSL. I remember back in the day, I found while I was home looking through all my memorabilia, sorting all my rubbish out, because I hoard things, I'm a hoarder. I found Ernest Chawali's Panasonic number 8, if I remember rightly. I found his jersey in a suitcase. It's brand new. He wore it once, and I made sure that I exchanged that shirt at the end of that game. I've played and watched games in Bloemfontein where the old stadium was packed, where Kings Park was packed, Orlando Stadium was packed, FNB Stadium was packed. I went to Loftus on Saturday, not to watch the rugby, I went to meet a friend, and the stadium was full. The national anthem made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I was proud as an Englishman to stand up with the South Africans and sing the national anthem. Well, mime some of it and sing some of it. And I'd like to see that back. I'd like to see that back. Not just at Bloemfontein, at Marumo Gallants, but in every club in the PSL. Let's get the fans back in. So I understand why he bought the franchise. He wants to bring football back to a province with the leaders, with the supporters, with all the frenzy that we saw with the Zimbabwean game. I believe Chiefs are playing Yanga in this Toyota Trophy as a pre-season game. There's a reason they're going there. Because the fans are desperate to see football in the province. So whatever reasons about buying PSL status, we've got to commend the chairman that he wants to bring football back to the province that so richly deserves football as a history. Sorry, Chairman, I hope I didn't say anything wrong there, but that's my feeling, you know. That's why I came back.
Colleagues, what I wanted from you when I said who owns what, maybe I should put it this way: just divulge the shareholders and their percentages.
Right, one final question. Oh, you said that. Okay. Yeah, let's give it to the president, and then we're gonna do a one-on-one and close the session. Thank you. Over to you, President.
Thank you. The NFT status, as I've mentioned in my speech, has been sold to a company called Katekani, Project Pty Limited. It is trending there, franchise there at NFT. I'm out. They run their own show. Target for him, I worked with him on 3 occasions. When we bought TTM, we were number 16, and he made miracles. He got us 1 silver medal, Nedbank Cup, and he made a tattoo. So I demand that back. That's the first target. And now there is an additional cup, black label. He's either getting one of them. Thirdly, top 8. We have to be in there. When the club performs well, we want to see you in that particular bracket. Am I wrong? Right. He knows the target very well, and he knows his game. We believe in him. We believe in us. We believe in his eye target in terms of good players, skills, building back the players. I'll give you an example of Ranga Chivavir, who was the most talked about at the end of last season, apart from his contribution. Not the only one. I mean, other coaches were there, but he was part of that at that last day when the guy's name top up. You reported everything about him. So we expect much, and he has to deliver more. Solos players, you know, when you accumulate the status, you take all the contracted players, and everybody contracted as per contract. Those who have expired contracts, it's either you recruit them back or they go somewhere else, and then it's no longer entertainment. And all other related legal issues, labor issues or employment contract related issues, you sort it out between the new owner and the old owner with their legal department. That's where we are now. I can't go through case by case and dispute this, agree to this. They are there, it's normal. And even if you go to ESCOM, you still find it. People have to differ to have focus on whatever they got. So we are, everything's looked after and is well taken care of. And I don't think if there is anything coming up, we are there. And we're experiencing that as well. We've been through this kind of situation when we attain TTM status. So we know exactly what it entails, what losses, what costs and all those things are embedded in there. Who owns who owns what? I said, this is Marumo Gallants Pty Limited with its own directors. As whether the directors is, how related is who is a legal entity with legal natural persons in there. I'm not dark and diving. And this legal thing is legalized to can fulfill the legal requirements within the league to then attain the status and employ people like us as well to serve and give them strategies and direction, stakeholders and others. That's how it is. Willing seller, willing buyer. It could have been you, it could have been my son, it could have been my daughter, it could have been what, but those, that Pty Limited has got directors in that one, and I'm really, one of the media houses put that up and whatever they say, it's fine, but let me be legal within the legal framework. It's a legal entity with its directors, it owns Marumo Gallants, and it has got employees, it has players, it has all those kind of situations. Am I still dark and diving? I think it's satisfied that without naming people's names and all those things that we get in trouble tomorrow. Thank you.
This thing is noisy. Right, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have two stations where we have the coach decide and then the chairman, or we can